G'day! Thank you for clicking on my video. As you can tell by the title, I'm doing a reaction to Tom MacDonald's People So Stupid. As soon as I saw that title, I thought I am going to enjoy this, and most likely I will agree 100% with what Tom MacDonald says, because people are so stupid. So let's get into this. Oh, I will be pausing it, give my opinions, give my comments, and please leave your comments in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. You might as well hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't done so yet, because at the end of the video, you might not get to do it, you might forget, or who knows, you probably won't even watch it to the end.
Changes soon, can get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me tooed. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive, we're all racist and we're sexist. We all
okay. One of the videos I did before Tom MacDonald mentioned Me Too, and I had no idea, but someone in the comments explained it to me. I did some further bit of researching to see what it was all about and how people were getting accused of rape and all these sorts of things that they supposedly had done in the past. Looking at what Tom MacDonald is talking about here, there seems to be a clash of civilizations. No, not a clash of civilizations. There was a book called Clash of Civilizations. I didn't read it, but I think it was something to do with the clash between Islam and Western society or something like that. And I think someone who did read it, they told me that it doesn't end well. But I can see a clash of cultures at the moment. And there's one culture that I was influenced by, which is a culture that was based on reality. And then you have this other woke culture, which is just based on delusions and lies, rainbows and unicorns. And it seems that they are judging people for what they've done in the past, saying how we should have behaved ourselves, and yet, anyway, look at the way they're behaving. So what am I trying to say? Just imagine being judged by a culture that's based on delusions and lies, and you're from a culture that's based on reality. Yeah.
Me too, what you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive, we're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile.
Oh, goodness me. You know, people are offended by everything these days, but you know what? I don't think they really are offended. I think it's all a bit of a show. Some of the things, I just can't understand. How could someone be offended by such a little thing? They've got to be putting it on. And I think they're pretending to be offended because it's sort of like their badge of honor, or it's part of their showing the woke culture, that they are a part of the woke culture. It could be like a, you know, Me Too movement. Oh, I've been offended too. Me too. I've been offended too. Or, you know, it's just one of the things. But I just can't understand how people can be so offended by such little things. You know, basically, it's good sense. And the Bible says it's good sense. You know, to be quick to hear, listen to what people have to say, but don't get offended at it. Think about what they've said. And if you do feel offended, think about why you are offended before you get all worked up and angry and get on Twitter and, you know, do your part. Just relax. You know? And if you think that's wise words, if you think that's wise words, hit the like button now. Oh, goodness me.
Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face.
Yeah. even Christians, many Christians are caught up in this woke culture of having to be offended. I mean, excuse me. Oh, so sorry for that. I've been teaching all day. It gives me a sore throat by the end of the day. I'm not at school. I'm teaching online today, but nonetheless, I still get a sore throat. Um, but as I was saying, even Christians these days, they're caught up in this woke culture where everyone must be offended. Uh, Christians complain. I mean, they get offended because someone else is offended that they're a Christian. Or they get offended because they posted some verse on Twitter and someone had said something about it that wasn't positive and they get offended. Yeah, there, there's there's Christians around the world. There are young girls who are being raped and forced into marriages all because they are Christians. There are people sitting in prisons throughout the world because they are Christians, and they don't know how long they're going to be in there for. They have no idea. There are men around the world who are Christians, and because they are Christians, they're being persecuted, and they're having tires put over, put over their heads, on their shoulders, and those tires are lit, all because they're Christians. There are women who are being thrown in, well, beaten first and thrown in jail because someone had said that Christian woman blasphemed. And you've got these Christians here who are, oh, someone's offended. I'm offended because someone's offended because I'm a Christian. Or I'm offended because I wrote I wrote a verse in Twitter and someone wrote something about it that wasn't positive. I'm offended by that. The woke culture has infiltrated everything, or perhaps it's having more influence on a lot of people than the Word of God is.
It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.
That is absolutely, that is weird. That is weird. Some states, I don't know, maybe it's changed, or maybe they passed the bill, but it hasn't been sort of like happening yet. But from what I know, some places are doing abortions right up to almost the time of giving delivery. And you got these people saying, oh, it's just a clump of cells and all sorts of... I'm not going to speak any more on that. I just want to share some Bible verses that I think relate to abortion. In the fact that people say when you have a heartbeat, you have life. I would like to go further back than that. That there is life before there is a heartbeat. I believe there is life when there is conception. And I would just like to share some verses with you. Okay, this is God talking to Jeremiah. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. God knew Jeremiah before Jeremiah was formed in his mother's womb. So obviously that's saying that there's two bodies. There is a natural body, there is a spiritual body. And that spiritual body, that spirit, God created, other parts of the Bible says, God created before the foundation of the world. So there is life, a spiritual life, and then at the time of conception, all those spirits, those souls of people that God had created, enters in. So before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee to be a prophet. And even before we are born, God has already given us a purpose for us to do in this life. It's up to us to seek God and find out what his purpose for us is. Yeah, I had to do a little bit of a word search there. I couldn't remember the verses. Psalm 139. This is King David. When he was singing to God, he often just put his talking into singing. Psalm 139, verse 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's go for it. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvellous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret. So David is talking about his spirit, his soul was made before his parents, conceived, before his mother conceived. God had already made his soul. God had already made him and already knew him. And God had already knew you before you entered into your mother's womb when she conceived. God already knew you. He fashioned you. He made you. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret, and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. God had already ordained what you were going to look like before you were born. Not only that, God already knew what you were going to look like before your mother conceived you, right? Before your spirit went in to that egg, and I don't want to get into biology because that I'll mess up. But can you see what I'm saying? God had already formed you. So when people are aborting babies and they say, well, it's okay because there's no heartbeat, there is a soul in there. There is a soul in there. Okay, let's move on. Just one more. I like the last part he says. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God, how great is the sum of them. God, his thoughts to us, he thinks about us more times than we have hairs on our head. He really does.
Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.
Oh. Yeah. I saw Tom MacDonald on a crucifix there, and to me that's saying that speaks to me something about having the freedom of speech to say the things that he is saying. And, one day that's going to be taken away from us. It's getting these days, if you want to speak the truth, you're going to offend people, and you need to be willing to be crucified for it. You need to be willing to be crucified for it. Soon it will be preaching the gospel will be going to prison. Speaking the truth may be fined, may be put in prison. You're going to have to be ready to count the cost. You're going to have to be ready to put yourself on the line and be crucified for freedom of speech. So let me just take that back again. Sorry.
On Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird. Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them, y'all so dumb. People so stupid, people so dumb, people so boo-hoo, wah, wah, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues, it's so dumb. I'm a hater because I can't relate to gay pride. Call me homophobic because I don't want to date guys. K-tight. I, for one, I'm not surprised the world declined along the way. Give trophies to children for losing just because they decide to play. The exercise our right to vote and hate the politicians. Hey, this is
yeah. I mean, give trophies to children just because they want to play. That's equity that's come into the schools now. Every one of my students must pass. A lot of students are disadvantaged in order for other students who seem to struggle a lot to actually get the same marks. I can go into a lot more detail, but I won't. I won't. But he also talked about, oh, you're homophobic, man, because you don't want to sleep with a guy. What the heck is that? You don't want to sleep with a guy. I don't want to because I've got they don't attract me, and it's sin. It's against nature. I'll get probably taken off YouTube for that. Apostle Paul says it's not natural. People say, hey, homosexual, that word's not even in the Bible. Apostle Paul says when men do unnatural things with other men, he said that's sin. No, he didn't use the word homosexual. They probably didn't have it in those days. But read it for yourself. But anyway, yeah, you don't want to, be with a fat chick. What is that? Fat phobia? You got a great fear. You got a fear of fat women or something like that. It's just insanity. And I think it goes back to that clash of the cultures I was talking about. When I grew up, this many years ago, we used to ride around in panel vans, and on our panel vans, we used to have stickers on our panel vans saying, don't laugh, your daughter might be in here, or if you see my van rocking, don't bother knocking. And one of the stickers that everyone used to have was no fat chicks. And that was just the culture we were brought up in. But now, with this woke culture that's not based on reality at all, and they think that people don't have preferences, and they're not, and that people are attracted to who they choose, and if they don't choose you, they're being, I don't know, have some phobia, or they're racist, or they're bigot, or whatever it is. It's just insanity, absolute insanity. You know what? Even guys, if a chick not interested in you because you're too short, or you don't have money, or you're ugly like me, whatever it might be, and if you're a chick, guys aren't interested because whatever it might be, maybe you're overweight, maybe you're too skinny, who knows? Get over it. Get over it.
Call me homophobic because I don't want to date guys. K-tight. I, for one, I'm not surprised the world declined along the way. Give trophies to children for losing just because they decide to play. You exercise our right to vote and hate the politicians. Ay, this is a democracy. It's partly your decision. Ay, this is weird. Feels like this a different year. If I identify as a female, then when my balls and penis disappear, children want a gender switch and hating men is
Yeah, yes. I woke up feeling like a woman. I sang the song, I feel like a woman. Did my testicles fall off? No, they're still there. It's just insanity. You can say you're a woman, you can, goodness me, you could be a black African man and say that you're an 18-year-old Chinese teenager, female, and your testicles are still going to be there. Your penis is still going to be there. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a culture that's based on delusion, based on lies. Insanity. They have how many genders do they say that? I mean, this is how. I don't know, 853 genders, according to their culture, according to their reality, which is delusional. 853, no, there's 2. So out of 853, they only got 2 right. Male, female. What do they call them? Cis male, cis female. That's it. Boys have a penis. Girls have a... I don't know if you're allowed to say that word that starts with B. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on YouTube.
This is a democracy. It's partly your decision. Hey, this is weird. Feels like this a different year. If I identify as a female, then when my balls and penis disappear,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
The world is not accepting it, then gave them more attention than normal women and men can get. What
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Focus on minorities, ignoring all the masses. Hallelujah, everyone. Activism save the planet. No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations.
I thought a good business principle, there's a lot of good ones, but one of them wasn't it focus, selling your products to masses, to the mass population, or find a product that most of the population, needs. And yet now you have all these companies, and they're all advertising all this stuff. They're using these pride flags. I don't like calling them pride flags. Have another word. But what is the population of LGBT, whatever it is? How what? Around the world, what? 1%? I mean, let's look at the world population. We've got India, we've got Indonesia, we've got Saudi Arabia, we've got all the Middle East, What? 1% population LGBTQ people. And yet you have all these companies focusing their advertisement on them. Australia, I don't know, probably 3% of the population says that they're, that way inclined. And yet everything seems to be focused on them. Everything seems to be focused on them. And there's other things too. You have minorities in the population, whether minorities regarding race or religion or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. Anyhow.
Focus on minorities, ignoring all the masses. Hallelujah, everyone. Activism save the planet. No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. Oh, no. Every time. Oh, hang on. What's happening? Every time someone talks about those environmentalist tree huggers and things like that and their hypocrisy, I can't help but always think of that girl, Hamburg or something. It's Hamburg. I don't know. I saw a picture of her sitting in a train. She just come from something where she was telling, adults how they need to look after the planet and what a disgusting job they're doing, and young people like her have to take control of the situation. And she's on the train on the way home, and someone took a photo of her, and she's just surrounded by all this disposable plastic everywhere. Even her sandwiches, probably meaty sandwiches too, all wrapped in plastic. There was plastic bottles, and it was a joke, absolute joke. But anyway, where was I up to? I'm gonna have to take it back. Oh.
No more plastic straws and paper, just paper straws wrapped in plastic. Congratulations. Y'all so stupid. Why are y'all so stupid? Get better problems, I swear to God that y'all want them, y'all so dumb. People so stupid, people so dumb, people so boo-hoo, wah. Get better issues, we're gonna run out of tissues, it's so dumb. Look, I get it, it's like the world is going crazy. Seems like a school shooting happens almost daily. The racism, rape culture, hatred that we're facing is way too ingrained for our hashtags to change it. We've become so lazy and complacent, afraid of our generation. We think activism's Instagramming memes and complaining. It's a problem when there's actually actions you could be taking.
I kept focusing on, I was listening but wasn't listening because I kept seeing on the cross being crucified, and the visuals of that just keeps telling me that when you think it's time that you want to start standing up for the truth, like I said before, you're going to have to be ready to pay the cost, because they're going to crucify you for it. And just as Jesus willingly gave himself up and was crucified, you're going to have to willingly, for the sake of truth, willingly suffer the consequences for it. He's talking about racism and rape culture, and there's none of it. As I said, it's all in their minds. It's all in their minds. Systemic racism. one law that differentiates between the races. Just one law. What else is rape culture? Give me one law or any place. Well, there are some places in the world, but in a Western country, one place where they promote rape, you know, where they encourage it, where you get rewarded for it. No, it's frowned upon, and if you're caught and you are criminally prosecuted for rape, there are consequences, and you go to prison. And in my opinion, there should be a lot worse thing done to you than just go to prison. But no, there is no rape culture, right? A culture is something that influences you to do something. Western culture does not influence people to go out and rape. Western culture says, hey, that's immoral, it's wrong, you do it, you're going to get caught, and you're going to go to prison. What are in these people's head? People so stupid, people so dumb, people so stupid, people so dumb. Anyway, people so stupid. Let's go back to this. Where are we up to?
To change it. We've become so lazy and complacent, afraid of our generation. We think activism's Instagramming memes and complaining. It's a problem when there's actually actions you could be taking, but you're triggered, so you just cry like a baby.
Yeah, baby. Oh, sorry, I have to take that back. I forgot to take it back.
Actions you could be taking, but you're triggered, so you just cry like a baby.
Yeah, he's talking about, my brain only just started working then. He's talking about how, you know, people want to be active, socially active in, well, social, there's nothing, well, there are a lot of things worse, but, you know, social justice warriors on Twitter, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, you know, they think they're going to change everything by sending tweets or posting on their social media and whatever. You know, and then can we just all go back to sending mean tweets to people, you know, just for fun? Can we just do that? Can we just do that? Just go back to mean tweets. It was good. Not that I was really much into Twitter or anything like that, but I don't know. Mean tweets seems a lot more fun than all this rubbish that's, what was it, Black Lives Matter? Everyone posted a black square. What? Why? What? What? I don't get it. So dumb. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I probably would have laughed a lot more during that, but I knew I had to also try and stay focused on what he was actually saying and try and pick up some messages or get some insight. And then you also got the visuals that was also distracting me as well, distracting me from laughing. But I really enjoyed that. And apart from, I agree with everything except one, well, maybe two things. First one was that life when there's a heartbeat, because, and I already explained my position on that. And the other one was how many genders he said, I don't know. I can't remember how many genders he said that people say that there are, but I think there's something like 853 genders because they're coming up with new ones every day. And, you know, and then, oh, don't get me started on coronavirus and deviants. Deviants? Deviants? That's not, we're not a deviant. A variant. A variant. Oh, oh, what? You got Delta deviant. No. I think they're going to come up with all these different variants as well. And soon it's going to be a race. Are there going to be more genders or are there going to be more variants? It's just insanity. Anyway, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like. It does my, that algorithm thing really good. It does really good. If you leave a comment, um, don't put a dislike because that's not good. Um, hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. See you all next time. Cheers.